Okay, QSL, man, not a problem. And that's the L station there. Sorry about that. I'll let your guys go ahead and pick it up. Alright, guys, 33. And, yeah, we definitely going to check it. Now, I wonder if that, I'm pretty sure it's horizontal.
Yeah, you got to be horizontal, yep.
Yeah, QSL. Okay, man, we definitely going to try that. And I'm going to lock this frequency in, 144,200. On Thursday night at 8 o'clock, you said?
Yeah, well, this is the calling frequency, 144,200, but I'm not sure if, I can't remember if they move up to 250. I'll have to double check that. But if you have an email address on, sure, maybe I can let you know. I'll catch you here again.
Yeah, copy that, man. Okay, Mark, we definitely catch you, man. 73. And hello to the other station there. You guys take it easy. 73.
Alright, 73.
Hey, Norm, you still there?
Yeah, Roger, AC3GD. The name here is Norm, and QTH is in Macklehattan, just outside of Lock Haven. And that's situated between Williamsport and State College, home of the Nittany Penn State Nittany Lions, and Williamsport, home of the Little League World Series. Over.
Yeah, okay, very good. Yeah, I got you on QSL over here, and my middle name is Norm, which was my grandfather's name. And it's funny because your last name, Chassie, is, that's how you pronounce it, I would think, because that's how she pronounced it. The girl that works for me, she's been working for me for years. Her last name is Chassie. That's her married name. She's divorced now, but yeah, it's not a common name, I don't think. But it's just when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, someone else with that name. Go ahead.
Well, let me tell you, I do pronounce it Chassé, more French lineage, and I always use the accent aigu over the E. If you go to Baton Rouge, in Louisiana, you'll find about 40 pages of chasses, or if you go up to Quebec City in the province of Quebec, Canada, another 80-page volume of chasses. Over.
Okay, interesting that it's pronounced that way. Now, I never really knew. She's Portuguese, but her maiden name is Mello. And her husband's name is Chassé, I guess you say it that way, French, which is good. I'm French as well. My last name is Dumont. Yeah, so Chassé, pretty cool. I didn't realize it was a French nationality.
Canadian French, evidently the French from Europe wanted to stay warm, and you take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, okay, very good. Well, you know, it's funny because a lot of people would call her Chase, because the Chase name around here is kind of more popular, and she would get kind of upset, but she pronounces it Chassie, but yeah, so it makes sense, Chassé, yeah, cool. Very good. So yeah, you said you went to Dayton. I was curious. I've never been to Dayton. I've always wanted to go. Haven't been yet, but maybe at some point I will. Just wondering how the show was and if you've seen anything interestingly new. Over.
Well, I'm not a Kenwood man. I'm not an Icon man, though I do know that Kenwood has their new top-of-the-line tri-band HT. You know, I look at my Yaesu FTD5 DR, and I like the scope. Trust me, when you have a scope, you don't listen for adjacent activity, you know, like you want to Ragchew, you're in a strange town. You can look at the scope and you can see the activity, and that is a feature. But I guess it's to each one's taste. I mean, you could hand me a hand talkie or a radio, because I have them that don't have a scope, and they're just as fun to use. Now, ICOM, I didn't get to handle their new hand talkie, but they have one that's supposed to be good. I don't know too much about it because there was this big fat guy in front of me, and I'm fat myself, and I wasn't crowding anybody. I said, I'll come back later, but I never did. I got busy. There's a lot of eye candy in the 5 buildings. The 5 buildings have all the commercial vendors, and it's more fun walking around in the flea market, in the racetrack, where the horse racetrack is, harness racing. That's full. And you got to get there Friday, because by Saturday afternoon, by 3 o'clock, I saw a lot of people packing up. Because Sunday, it's like a ghost town. Everyone's traveling to get back home. N1DU, AC3GD.
AC3GD, N1DU returning. Very good. So, does it start on Thursday and go to Saturday, or is it pretty much just a Friday and Saturday deal? Contact?
Yeah, contact. Why don't you jump in right now, AC3GD.
AC3GD, VV3YW. How you doing?
And there's a man that was at Dayton, and I finally got an eyeball on him. Very good, Rich, very good. When I got home from work today, I received your QSL card. Over.
Good for you, good for you. Well, I tell you, man, it's good to meet you. Even though it was a bit of a mix-up at the beginning there, it was sure good to meet you at the hand bench in there. And I hope you had a good time, and that you got everything you wanted, and you got everything you didn't want, and everything else like that. I got home yesterday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon there. Anyway, I heard you in there. I didn't want to interrupt. I just wanted to jump in and say a quick hello there, Noel, just to say how great it was to meet you there, for sure. V31W.
No problem. I'm talking with N1 Delta uniform, and I'm sure you might want to have a quick little chat with him about your experience at the Dayton Ham Fest. N1DU, it's VE3YW. His name is Rich. Him and I have talked, a couple months, good QSOs, and we met up finally. AC3GD, why don't you pick it up, N1DU?
Okay, very good. VE3YW, N1DU here, Mark. I'm in Westport, Mass, 60 miles south of Boston. We're just talking about, Dayton a little bit, seeing, I've never been wanting to go, but to see how things go. A good friend of mine, he was running the D-Star registration booth, Terry, just was curious as to what's up. I run the 52 icon for the HD, but for the D-Star. It's good to see that Kenwood came out with another version of that HD. That's a very nice HD. I had that at one time. I wish I never got rid of it. But maybe I'll jump in and go for the newer version. But I'll pass it back to you, Rich. I'm just wondering, I'm looking at your QSL card, and that is a beautiful, looks like a lake. I'm just wondering if that's your property over there, Rich. VE3YW N1DU.
N1DU with AC3GD V3YW. Yeah, very fine there, Mark. You're 5 and 9 here. And that's a summer getaway. Up in Perry, South Ontario. It's about, I would say a couple of 100 miles north of me here, and the good fishing and stuff like that. Spend the summers up there and with the family and what have you. So it's a nice little retreat there out on the outskirts of Georgian Bay, but it's not the home MPH. I live in the city of Chatham, in a typical subdivision. So anyway, very fine business on that, on the D-Star and what have you. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I really enjoyed Dayton. If you've never been there, Mark, I was there 30 years ago.
when it was held at the Hara Arena. This is by far better, and in my opinion. And everybody, it was so well organized. It was meticulously well organized. I have to take my hat off to all the people involved and the volunteers. And they had shuttle services. They had everything you could ever possibly want there for people. People with disabilities. People were accommodated. So very fine business. And I did manage to pick up a few bits and bobs that I needed. Quite good. I got some good deals, in fact, so I was quite happy with that. And I was lucky enough to stay with a good friend of mine about 30 minutes away from the Hamfest, K3HHP Lee in Leesburg. So that was handy as well. But if you've never been there, Mark, I strongly suggest it would be my recommendation that you make the trip at least once, and as Norm would attest to it, it's well worth a visit there. And I'm sure Norm would agree with me there. Anyway, back to you there, AC3GD V3YW.
Okay, this was only my second year. Last year was my first, and I think Friday there were a lot more people than there were last year. Last year, I guess Friday is the most busy day because people will either buy or they will scan and look, and if they're not interested, they don't want to come back. They meet their friends, and that's it. I make it a two-day event. I don't stay for the prize drawing because if I ever won the big prize, they'll mail it to me. I don't need, a hand-talkie or 100 feet or 1,000 feet of coax cable because I'd never use it. But it's nice that they have those little gimmies, because it is a big event too. If you've never been and you're going to do your first time, stay all 3 days and sit through the prize drawing. That's a lot of fun too. With that, I'm going to turn it right up to you, Mark. N1DU, this is AC3GD.
Okay, very good. AC3GD with VE3YW. Very good. Very nice to meet you guys. Really appreciate you coming on me. Both sounding really good, and kudos on your Dayton ventures there. That sounds like a good time. I'll have to put that on the bucket list for sometime in the near future. Yeah, that sounds like it'd be a good time. All right, I'm gonna get going. I want to go catch a little bit of the basketball game with my wife. Not that I'm a Lakers Nuggets fan, but obviously I'm a Celtics fan, and they're not doing well as either. But just gonna enjoy a little bit of time watching it with my wife. She loves basketball, so I'm gonna get going. Very nice to meet you guys. I'll put you in the log, and eventually I'll get a QSL card out to you guys. So nice to meet you both, and you guys can carry on, and we'll catch you later on. I'll pass it over to you, Rich. VE3YW N1DU.
N1DU, VE3YW. Okay there, Mark. I didn't mean to chase your frequency, my friend. I just jumped in there quickly to say hello. Anyway, have a good evening there, Mark, and hopefully we'll get to speak with you again real soon. I'll pass it quickly over there to AC3DD to say his good evening to you there. Pick it up there, no?
Okay, yeah, it was very interesting. When you check in back from Dayton, you run into people that you met. No disappointment on my part. I wish I would have had more time. Just bullshit, But it's so busy. You got people you have to meet, people that are expecting you to be at one location. You have 20 minutes to get there, and it's kind of hectic sometimes. But next year I'm going to be pretty smart. I'm going to bring a gas grill and a cooler, and I'm going to tailgate. I guess as long as you don't sell anything, they can't say anything. The E7 YWA AC3GD.
Yeah, well, you're right. You know, I had a list of people to see too. I did get to see most of them, including you, of course, and all with the exception of one guy. And I forgot that he had to leave on Saturday to attend his daughter's graduation from high school, and I forgot he wasn't going to be there Saturday. So anyway, that's too bad. But anyway, it was always other years. And you made me laugh when you said, putting a tailgate and having quashing a few cans open there. You know, I don't know whether you noticed there was guys at the tailgate section there, right at the very back. They were from Mississippi, and I went up there on Friday. I guess it must have been about 2 o'clock. And these guys are absolutely hammered. You know, there are bottles of whiskey sitting on the table, and cans of beer, and they were having a good time. They weren't doing anything wrong. Don't get me wrong. They were really enjoying themselves, and they were very, very pleasant to everybody who passed by. But there's no doubt these guys are there to enjoy themselves as well. But good for them, that's what I say. Anyway, I agree with you. There was a lot of people there Friday, no doubt about it, and it was hot, very, very hot. Saturday was a lot cooler, thank goodness, and I got home about 4 o'clock. I was absolutely tired, after the long drive and what have you, and I got this morning still tired, so I took it easy today pretty well. Anyway, I tested out this little antenna tuner that I bought out. Picked up an 18-2KD tuner, Pal-Star, for real cheap price from a tailgater, and hey, it works like a charm. There's nothing wrong with it. It's $800 worth of equipment. I picked it up for $300, so it works just fine. So anyway, I wonder if you picked up any good deals there, Norman.
Well, I already own an AT2K, and I have enough amplifiers. So I really wasn't looking for anything. However, I did pick up a 2023 repeater directory, and the first one I looked at when I got back to my motel room, I opened it up to the Williamsport area, Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and the ink was all smudged like somebody moved something when it was getting printed. I said, well, this is no good. The most frequently looked at page for me. So the next day I brought it back, and I guess the guy thought I just wanted my money back. I said, no, I'd like to get another copy. He said, sure. I said, but could I inspect this one? So I opened up to page 374, and it was perfect. So I grabbed it, and I said, mister, you could honestly sell that to somebody from Georgia, Florida, any place but Pennsylvania. I said, explain to them that it's discounted to $15, and they would have no problem buying it from you. The E3YW AC3GD.
Oh, yeah, an AC3GD V3YW. Well, it was good of him to exchange it for you, but then again, you would expect him to do that, wouldn't you? And I suppose that if he was going to sell that same copy, he would pre-warn somebody, hey, listen, there's a misprint or a printing error, as it were, from the printer on page 373 or whatever, and give it maybe a discount for sure. Whether or not he did that, I don't know, or how many copies he's got, I have no idea either. But I did find a few things. It's funny, because when I came across the Canadian border, because I have to come back into Canada, because, they ask you what you've got, and whether where have you been? I said, well, I've been to the ffmpeg, and of course, most of the Canadian, border patrol guys there, they must have sent hundreds of Canadians to him that weekend, crossing back and forth, He said to me, he said, did you buy anything? I said, said, yeah, I bought a few bits and bobs, but not worth much. He said, bits and bobs. And he handed me my passport and said, have a nice day. He didn't even want to know what I bought or whether I bought anything else. So it was pretty easy crossing the border back into Canada again. But we were allowed, I don't know, about $800 after 48 hours. You can bring $800 worth of stuff into Canada duty free. But then again, North, I don't know whether you know that, but amateur radio equipment being imported into Canada is duty free anyway. So I would just have to pay the taxes on any excess of that much money. But they're pretty good about it, So that was a good deal too. So I picked up a whole bunch of bits and bobs that you always need, So I'm pretty well set now. But anyway, there you go. Good to meet you there. I'm to clear out of here. I've got a problem with my one speaker here, so I've got to fix that this evening. I've got intermittent speaker problems, not on this rig, but on something else. So I've got the soldering iron out here. I'm going to rewire it. I think that's the problem. So I'll get that heated up and get that sorted out before the morning. Anyway, there, North, great meeting you, my friend. Really was. And hey, probably see you next year if you're going to go, because I probably will go again. I enjoyed it that much. AC3GD, V3YW.
Roger, Rich, I'm going to probably reserve a room at the same hotel because I really like this one. I liked it better than last year. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the tickets January just so they're bought and paid for. Reserve the room so I know I have a place to go. And of course, I have so much vacation time. I've got 4 weeks this year, and I've already used 4 days. So it is what it is. And hopefully the weather will be nice, because I talked with a couple people. Last year was very hot. And I talked with people. Some people said it's the best weather in 30 years, the whole weekend. That little spate of rain that we had early Saturday morning till about 8 o'clock Saturday morning, that didn't dampen anything because the roads were dry by the time we got there. So, Rich, if you hear me, jump in, say hello. VE3YW, this is AC3GD. I'm going to be QRT.
Yeah, okay, no, great, fine business on that, and your wise, I think your wise rebooking your hotel room early. They go pretty quickly, especially in the forefront of the convention itself. You have to try to book a room a month ahead of time. You're probably going to be missing out. You probably have to drive 50 miles before you even find a hotel room. But anyway, we made the mistake of going in on Friday at around 9 o'clock, and we were caught in a traffic jam for darn near an hour just to get to the gate to get into the grounds there, just outside there. But it was no big deal. I didn't care. It was I'm part of the experience, but you live and learn, And I didn't stick around Sunday. I just made my way back here to Ontario first thing on Sunday morning. But okay, North, take care. All the best to you and your good wife, and we'll speak to you soon, hopefully on the air. And take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening and stay safe, my friend. Always a pleasure. AC3GD, V3YW. Good night, North.
Okay, and also, I had found out that one of the main reasons, really, why there was such a bottleneck Friday morning was because they started moving livestock, horses, at 7 in the morning, and that backed up the early entrance. The early birds, they were backed up, and that backed up all the other people coming in at 8, 9 o'clock. So hopefully Hopefully, that won't happen. It wasn't like that last year. 7-3, Rich, AC3 GD MQRT.
K0WOJ.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Norm, take care of all the very fast. You have to go to the station, Norm?
Sure, come on, Bob.
Yeah, good evening. I've been listening here for about 15 minutes. I would have been in there earlier. I was just ready to get on, and my daughter called me on the phone. So, and good evening to the other station. I think he was up there at Xenia, Ohio with you, and all had a good time. And I just about with the horses early in the morning, backing things up. So you've got a good signal. Both of the stations, this one and the other station, I think they're both in Canada, and copied them both fine. Copied everybody fine. Name here is Bob Baker, Ocean Baker, and we are in South Central Missouri. So I'll ship it right back there to you, Norm. I hope you. Maybe you're so excited and wound up from Xenia that you're. Maybe you got offered a ball because you would normally be gone at this time. It was what 8:25 or 9:25 your time. AC3 GD from K0WOJ. Contact.
Go ahead, contact.
Kilo Quebec 6 Zulu Yankee. This is John in New Hampshire.
I got a Kilo Quebec 6 Zulu Yankee.
It's affirmative. Kilo Quebec 6 Zulu Yankee. John in New Hampshire. Been listening to you guys talking about dates. Sounds like it was an interesting show.
Roger. Your call one more time. Kilo Quebec 6 Lima Yankee.
It's Kilo Quebec 6 Zulu Yankee. John in New Hampshire.
Roger, John. Yeah, we have, I think Rich signed. I'm going to be signing because it's a school night for me. And we have Bob, K0WOJ, in Missouri. Xenia was a lot of fun. Central PA, it was a 7-hour ride at the speed limit, stopping only for gas, run in and pee, grab one of those gross pre-made sandwiches they sell in the cooler near the counter, and off I went. 7 hours. Back to you.
Well, that's dedication, and I've never been to one of these ham fests, so I'm just kind of curious about what sorts of things you see that you might not see elsewhere.
Well, it's not that you can see them, you can touch them. You can look at any of the stuff from Yesu, ICOM, Kenwood, Elinko. You can look at buddy poles. You can look at tuners. You can look at amplifiers. At the Hamfest, you can actually touch them. Most of the stuff. And a lot of times you will get the factory reps that can answer questions. Either that or they give you a spiel that you know is a bunch of BS. There's 5 buildings for the commercial vendors, and then on the racetrack they have a horse racing, little carts they pull, harness racing. That is full of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm going to say 8 rows, the length of it, of vendors for used equipment, radios for sale, amps for sale, etc., AC3 GD.
Comment?
Go ahead, comment.
Yeah, I just wanted to let him know that if he's never been to Hamvention, he's really missing out. If you can't find a Hamvention, you can't find it, period. The radio I'm talking on now is a TS590SG Kenwood, and I found it out in the